Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Coffee Talk. So, we'll give everybody a few minutes to join up. I know it's Monday instead of Sunday that we're having coffee talk. Well, hello. It was just a big weekend, and I will tell you that yesterday was a struggle. Like, I definitely, uh, something was buzzing on my watch. Guess what? It's the reminder that it's time for the coffee talk. So, but yeah, yesterday I was so exhausted from the picnic that I knew I couldn't. I mean, I'm still tired today, but today is so slightly more normal. Hey, Coda Bear, good to see you. But so, but now here we are. Hey, good evening. Hey, Tutu Q Cat and Gigi's here and Dennis. So, uh, yeah, I don't know who's first or not first because StreamYard is sometimes not the best at bringing things over in order. So, or sometimes it does like a whole group all at once. So, if you were first, and if not, well, congratulations to someone else first. Hey, just Jason Keto. I saw your latest truffle recipe, and I'm super excited about it. So, but I have some more to talk about that in a little bit too. Hey, Rickwin, happy Sunday, Monday talk. Yes. So we're having an evening coffee here, and I see we've got Attila on. Having so we have a nice moderator, just in case. You never know. Sometimes the weirdest spammers drop in. So anyway, so for those of you who don't know, Saturday was our big annual 4th of July weekend community pride picnic. The picnic here has like this huge history. This minus the pandemic years that we could not have a picnic. Hey Joe, good to see you. Glad you got caught up. Hey, you were legit the actual first person because you signed in yesterday. Uh, but yeah, so the picnic. So as part of an organization in LA, and for many years I was the chapter president of that organization. And then we kind of started partnering up with other organizations in the area to make it a more open to the community at large. And it's just been growing and growing and growing. I think that this year was probably year 28, uh, because yeah, 2019 was like 26. I forget. It's a lot of years, guys. A lot of years of picnic. And I'll tell you that this picnic now that I run is near and dear to my heart because when I first started going to this picnic, a friend of mine uh, basically dragged me by the hand and said, "Come to this picnic. You will fit right in." And I was very unsure. I still was like not real comfortable. And I got there and I saw somebody from my nerd scene there, and I sort of panicked a little bit because I wasn't sure, my place. I was in my early 20s. You remember how that was. And I kind of like panicked a little bit. And the person in charge of the event became one of the most beloved people of my life. His name was Owen. Uh, Took me by the hand and he said, "Sit yourself down. This is here. Everybody here is family, and uh, your friend there is here too. So why would there be judgment? You know." So I stayed and I had a fantastic time. I got to meet so many people, and then I continued going to all of their other events. We got involved in all of the pride activities. We got, I mean, it just evolved, and here we are. Now I'm the person who finds these scared new people and says, "No, you're family now. Come right in." We definitely had a couple of those this picnic, and it was my pleasure because at the very beginning they were trying to hide in the corner, and I was like, "Oh no, you will not." And I took them and I did like the mom thing, and like I was like, "Here, we're making you a plate of food." And I took them over to other people and I sat them down and I introduced them to everybody, and that was probably uh, a real highlight for me. So, hey, Gigi, good to see you. So that was the start of the picnic. I will tell you that last year, so in the before times, the picnic was getting out of control. It was hitting like 130, 140 people, exceeding capacity of the park recommendations. So it was starting to get to be too much. And when we came back in, I don't even remember which year, 2024, I want to say. Wait, what? That's this year. 2020, I don't know. We came back 2 years ago, so whatever. Yeah, 2022. I'm not all there yet. Hello, SD Bradley. Good to see you tonight. Uh, it was like suddenly much more manageable because it was like 50 people, and that was great. And last year it was about 70 people, and I was like, that's perfect. It's just right. But I will tell you that this year, I mean, you don't always have like a 100% account because people move around and come and go and all kinds of stuff. But we're right about 90 people, and so it's good if it stays like that. Uh, so it was a lovely picnic, and I always laugh because I get myself really concerned about because I don't eat buns, I don't know how to judge, and I always buy too many, and then there's a bunch of leftover bread that I don't know how to deal with. So this year I bought less spreads, and I thought, oh no, we're gonna run out for sure. Well, even with me buying less, it was still too many because we had a few bags left, but not an enormous quantity like we have in the past. So it was good. And now Barely Begun is asking me the question, and that's my next thing. The real question is, how many wieners, brats, and burgers is that? So we have about 20 burgers in our freezer now that we did not cook. So we did great. There's a few cooked burgers in our fridge that we'll eat. One of the people brought 50 bratwurst. So we have leftover bratwurst for days, and I smoked a bunch of bratwurst for ourselves anyways. But so all 50 of those bratwurst that somebody else brought got eaten. 100 hot dogs got eaten, and 83 burgers got eaten. We do have leftover hot dogs because I got worried that too many people extra would show up, and I wanted to make sure that at the very least, if people missed out on like burgers or bratwurst, that there were plenty of hot dogs, which were quick and easy. So yeah, no worries. Turns out the bread got taken, at the very end. I told people, I reminded them that I had celiac and the bread could not come to my house, that I could arrange to give it to Central Ohio Food Not Bombs if needed, but if anyone at the picnic had a use for buns or a hamburger or hot dog buns, to please help themselves. And a few people who had chickens took some, my kid took some, and they were very excited because, no bread at mom's place, but they can have bread at their house. So it all worked out just perfect. So we will be eating bratwurst and hamburgers and hot dogs for the next couple weeks and be very happy about it. Let's see what else. Oh, also someone very kindly said they knew that I had to be grain-free and even rice-free, as opposed to a lot of the buns that are made for gluten-free, that have the rice flour in it. And they brought a package of Cloudies to make sure that I could have at least a burger on a bun. And so now I've eaten 2 burgers on buns, and it's been fantastic. I'm excited. I thought that was a really great birthday gift. So, and despite the fact that people ate all of that food, I didn't know until after the fact when we got home. And of course, all through the picnic, I was worrying that people weren't getting fed enough. If anybody left that picnic hungry, I don't know what picnic they went to. Because in addition to the meat stuff that we brought, there was everything. Cakes and pies and chips for weeks. So many chips. And we forced people to take chips home. But I have several bags of chips, which, I don't eat. But I do go to RPG this week. And so I can take a bag of pork rinds for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chips for myself. And then I can take a bag of chi and take a couple bags of chips. I've got a container of salsa that someone left at the picnic. All I'm going to do is pick up some guacamole. We'll be good for a snack. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, we also had a lot of cheese left. For some, cheese usually does run out. And I will say, I don't know if this is the difference or not, but normally I buy for the picnic that giant block of American cheese, and a lot of it gets eaten, and we wind up with some leftover. But I just really didn't want American cheese, and I was like, well, that didn't feel right to buy like fancy cheese for myself and squirrel it away in my cooler. Um, so instead, I bought good cheese, and people ate less of it. So I'm like, do people really just really prefer, probably, but And Joe says his sons would never leave a block of cheese at the picnic, and they eat it all. They eat it all. They're mice, I tell you. Yeah, so yeah, but I'm super excited because I do eat cheese. Mostly meat and cheese is my meal, so I'm a happy camper on that. And Barely Begun is asking, am I sure I'm not actually Italian? Eat, you'll feel better. No, Coda Bear, I am a Mexican, so you need to eat just a little plate. And by a little plate, just have a little something. I mean, you need to have like 3 plates full, and then I'm going to give you a dessert too. That's just how it is. Eat, eat. Anyways, but you do make me laugh because my very, very best friend who used to run the organization with me, she is Italian. So when we used to have like parties or events, people would come and there would be like this huge table, and it would just be overflowing with foods, and people would be fed like they were going to starve for an entire month. And a friend of mine did actually mention to us that perhaps we could back it off a smidge because we were going to get to the point where we are going to have to roll people out of the events. I said, it's our nature. So, and I think that some of you next March in 2025, if you happen to be in Ohio and you travel here for the Hungry Horde in Ohio meetup, where Shelly and Heath are going to spend a portion of their cross-country vacation, you might have a lot of experience because you might know, don't be tearing up my furniture. It's a cat issue. So, but they are going to be here, and as you know, they also love to cook and feed people. No, you're going to knock the camera over. Come here. I have to get the cat, you guys. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. See? It's a camera attack, and now she's mad because I stopped her from knocking it over. Don't get my coffee. She's the one who does not like being picked up. If it were Valius, he'd sit here and he would put his head on my shoulder and be okay for about like 5 minutes or so until he realized he was on the camera and didn't want to be seen. So, but that one, yeah. Okay, I'm going to adjust it again. Sorry for the wiggliness. There she is again. Now you can't see the whole cat, and it's crooked. What a mess we are today. Well, anyways, so that was our little rescue kitten who is now a big cat. See, we even feed the cats. Let's see. So what else am I doing? Oh, so yeah, back to the picnic. And of course, the nice thing about that is 22 Cute Cat says that's how her cats act when she picks him up. Yeah, you know what? She loves to be petted, and she loves to play with toys, and she likes to sit on my lap while I'm at work. She just likes to do it on her own. She just doesn't like the actual reach down and pick up. So I don't really know what that is, but she was a wildcat when we got her, so okay, whatever. Let's see, what was I telling you about? The picnic, everything about the picnic. Oh, also, it was my birthday, so I have some things to share with you. I'll tell you more about the picnic, too. So Shauna, let me see if I can back it up, sent me this nice door decor. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Air Fry Auntie, our beloved person, she's on vacation right now. So, she's not here tonight for me to embarrass her with my flattery, but she does all of these amazing handmade stuff. And this is like super thick. I don't know how to tell you, but like you can see, it's pretty beefy. And she does all of this. This is a combination of paper and ribbon work, and it's very sturdy, like way better than you buy at the store. So, real cute that she did that. And then setting stuff down. I have a little table right here, but also a spoiled rotten Coda Bear here sent me a cute little card. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. So, you guys, look. For those of you who know Coda Bear, is it not the best card ever? Look at it. I should say it the mean way, right? Look at it. So, thank you, Dennis, for the birthday wish. And then also included in there, there's a sticker that I peeled off carefully because it's so cute. But he also sent this cute little pendant that I've carefully rewrapped. And look, does it not make you think of like the Radical Geek here with its nice little circuitry? So I'm making a little chain to put on it, and I have a ring that I can attach it here. Or I've been pondering sometimes the circlets that you wear. I'm not sure if it's going to be too big though, so I'm going to play with it a little bit. But I was thinking that I could maybe even wire wrap it and attach it into an elven circlet. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas, but I really dig the design on it. And you can't really tell on the camera. Well, maybe a little bit you can. So when you turn it to the side, it's got like a coppery shimmer. But when you look at it straight on, it's got that deep oxblood red. So I totally love it. It's super nice. Let's see. So there's that. Now, the other thing that happened at the picnic, you ready for your queer education here? They got together, and I was presented with this hat. This hat is called a mirror cap, and in leather culture. So originally, this was a man thing. I don't need to get too detailed about it, but basically it came from initially, there are like 9 million stories about the history. A lot of the history leads back to the adoption of some military process and procedure adopted into queer leather culture. But actually, as far as women are concerned, the lesbian leather culture didn't really start and ramp up until like 1978. And so sometimes recognitions like this, what happens to this is after a long period of time in the community, there's a whole thing about like gifted leather. And, over the years, I've been gifted vests, boots a couple different times, smaller caps, gloves. I've gotten a couple pair of pants, a jacket. They're all things that people give you as signs of respect for your journey, your education, and ways you give back to the community in the way you carry yourself and represent. But this cap is extra special because this is a recognition of your mastery. So it's a very emotional thing. Like I almost have tears now, and it was earned basically by love and service to community because of the way I've given back to our community, helped it foster and develop, help it continue, and that kind of thing. And so that was really, really amazing. And it was just, it's a lot. So And Barely Begun says that was very awesome, wonderful of them to recognize you that way. So there's your education. And yeah, so 1978 was really when lesbian leather culture started gaining some traction, and 1979 was when uh, Bikes on Bikes, the official actual organization, started. If you're not familiar with that, those are lesbians who ride motorcycles. So there you go. There's your there you go, geek and gay culture all in once. So yeah, that was the picnic. We then also got new camp chairs because at the last minute, and again, special award of recognition for Attila because we got all situated at the picnic, and just before it was going to start, I was like, you know what? I know that we were shopping for them because over the past few years, a lot of our camping equipment has degraded, and uh, our entire family was down to 2 camp chairs. Let me just tell you, there's more than 2 of us in this family. So I was like, you know what? We really need to not be waiting any longer for camp chairs. But you just go run and buy 2, and if they're not the best ones, that's okay. We'll get good ones later. Also got bug bites, making me crazy. So Attila actually went to BJ's, found some really nice chairs, paid a lot of money for them, but one of them is a hammock chair that I was able to sit and just relax for the longest time. It's so comfortable that I'm like, well, this is better than my work chair. Not this chair. This chair is the best, but I have a gamer chair up in my office that I sit in for work, and I was like, very tempted to get that camp chair and sit in that and kind of just relax all day. uh, it was really nice. So, oh, goodness. All right, so obviously we're not cooking tonight. I would show you the massive bruise on my leg that's a mystery, but I don't think I could get my leg up to the camera, and also that's weird. But it's not, it's only about an inch wide, but for whatever reason, it's like about this long. And I have no earthly idea because, and it wasn't there at the picnic because I was wearing shorts at the picnic, but today I had this big long bruise. No clue. Such is life. So we're not cooking, and I kept trying to think of like all the things that we could cook. So by Sunday, when we have our regular coffee talk and we're back in the kitchen, there are going to be bratwurst in the freezer. I have hamburger in the freezer. Uh, I really have to think of something for us to make. I also have cottage cheese in the fridge. I have some non-carnivore things that are free and able to be used. I almost thought of trying something weird, but I'm just like, I don't know, because what keeps coming up on my TikTok are chocolate chip cookies, and I kid you not, they're made with cottage cheese and almond flour. And I'm like, I don't know if I can handle doing another bad cottage cheese recipe that just is like, no. I just don't know. But I think I might have some chocolate chips in my cabinet. I think I have some almond flour, and I do have some cottage cheese. And I'm like, do we try to make those disgusting sounding cookies? What if they actually taste good? I don't believe it for a second that they'll be good. How can they? I mean, I get it. Cottage cheese is flexible. But I will tell you that today I tried a different cottage cheese recipe that was supposed to be a whipped cottage cheese using a coffee extract and sweetener. And let me just tell you, if that comes across your feed, don't do it. Oh my God, it was disgusting. Ugh, don't do it. It's the new cauliflower. It has to be everything. Ingredients can stand on their own. They don't have to be everything. Cottage cheese is the new cauliflower. But so 50-50. Either I'm going to make something with the bratwurst, But maybe we'll be ridiculous. Barely begun says worth a shot, unless it's putting it in coffee. What is wrong with me? I know. You know what though? Let me tell you, I've had whipped cottage cheese with sweetener and vanilla and a little bit of cream cheese, and it legit tastes like a little bit of a no bake cheesecake. So I thought perhaps it would taste like a coffee cheesecake, but let me tell you, no, no, it does not. So coffee extract blended with sweetener and cottage cheese tastes like the milk's gone bad. I'm just saying, no, don't do it. Ugh. Like, sometimes things taste bad and either it's like because it's yucky, and some things taste like they're bad as in they've gone off. And coffee extract blended with cottage cheese and sweetener made the cottage cheese taste like it had gone off. Ugh, no. A Barely Begun says, I can't go with just simple broths and cottage cheese on the side. But, honestly, that's probably a good meal tomorrow. I may have broths with a side of cottage cheese. That sounds great. I actually have just been taking a slice of the Colby Jack cheese and I just reheat my broth and throw it right on there. Delicious. So, and Rickwin agrees. Yuck, no cottage cheese cookies. I don't, it's just like, I don't get it. Why has it got to be everything? But then there's the back of my mind going like, but what if it's good? But also fresh in my mind is the flatbread, which to its credit doesn't taste bad. For me, the only issue is that it gets too moist and I can't get it to be more dry, which is what it really needs. Like if it could be dry on both sides, it'd probably be okay. But no, it just because of the way you need it to be in a container to cook, it gets too dry. Now, I did see recently Serious Keto made those cottage cheese flatbreads, but in little circles in the silicone pan. And I don't know. Serious Keto does some really amazing things. I'm just having a hard time seeing how that wouldn't have the same moisture problem, especially in silicone. Oh, and Rickman says try straining the cottage cheese to get out the extra water to make the bread. It just seems like at this point though, I'm just gonna make a cloud bread. I know that it has its own issues too, mostly related to the fact that it gets sticky. Sticky, I can handle. The wet was no, but maybe. But if I'm gonna do that, I could just get ricotta and make cloud bread. I don't know. Also, I don't mind that they're thin and frail. I actually really like the gelatin and egg crepes. Those are super good to me. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. There's so many of these recipes, and it's hard to tell which are serious and which are jokes, and which ones will be magical and which ones will be nasty. I mean, also trending on TikTok is a recipe that I know works, and that's the scrambled eggs with the chocolate, uh, with the cocoa powder and the sweetener. We know that works because we've been making our egg pudding, from keto chow with the scrambled eggs, and that's really delicious. So, you just have to wonder. It's it's a conundrum. Anyways, I'm open to suggestions. Hi, Sharon. Good to see you. By the way, now that I see Sharon, that reminds me, if you're a part of the Hungry Horde, last month we did squats. So many squats. And so now that your legs are good, um, this month we're focusing on arms. Let me tell you, that arms workout that's posted is no joke. It's hard, but start off with no weights and get the form down, and then maybe add some little ones if you're not already conditioned. Or if you are conditioned, start with your current level and give it a go. Join us for the challenge. There's lots of ways to be flexible with it. Sharon posted some alternative movements for it. And if you need more help with that, just reach out to me. again, with our exercise challenges through the Hungry Horde, I know there are a lot of us who have some mobility challenges. And for Hungry Horde members, I am glad to do a free one-to-one consult so that we can work through a good plan so that you can participate in the challenge and do it in a way that works for you so you don't have to do so you don't have to follow the script exactly as described, but it's still part. Oh, Barely Begun says he started with 1 pound weights in each hand, which felt okay, except for the bicep curls, which he thinks will switch to 3 pounds. Ah, very nice. I thought the butterfly piece would be really hard for a lot of people. That's the hardest one for me. Uh, I'm using 8 pound barbells, but I do have a thing where many years ago I tore this bicep muscle here, so it's really got some issues. So some days I do the regular tricep with the leaning over and running back, but some days also I'll use my kettlebell and do the triceps where you go behind your head. It's just going to depend. I definitely am going to listen to this to determine where it's at. And by the way, for those of you who did the squat challenge, when you did all your measurements, did you find changes in your arms? I sure did. You know why? Because when you do your squats, you raise your arms up, or you're holding them like this, which means you're using your muscles. So yeah. And Tutu Cat says the arms were harder for her than the squats. She has weenie arms. Try to using the 5 pound weights, but no. Again, yeah, 5 pounds is actually a significant amount of weight. That is kind of a lot to start with if you do that. And actually, we have noodle arms in this household because we are endurance cyclists. So we can ride our bikes for a long time. So the squat challenge was more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge because our legs are like very strong. But yeah, but the arms don't get the same kind of workout. So yeah. And Sharon says she used the 3 pound weights and that was enough. That sounds like a perfect starting weight. If you ever did Zumba for cardio and you bought like the kit, that comes with I think 2 pound little barbells. But if you don't have barbells and you want to try some weight, try any used sporting goods equipment. Here where we are, we have a place called Play It Again Sports, and you can usually find all kinds of the return Zumba or multiple little fitness stuff that are just people, you buy it because it's trendy and you find out you don't like it, and then eventually you need to do a purge because you get too much stuff in your house, and off to the Play It Again Sports it goes. So you can find stuff, and like those little Zumba stuff are like, $5, $8, $10. So yeah. And Barely Begun says thrift stores also have tons of barbells weights. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good call out as well. By the way, you can't see them on the camera because they've already started to go away, but I got like a couple botfly bites over here, and they are so annoying. Like they don't itch, but they have feeling, and then when I touch them, it hurts, but I am compelled to touch them. Oh. And Tutu Q Cat says yes, that she reduced it to 3 pounds, and that was plenty. Yep. And what you'll find is that as we go along through the challenge, and we increase our repetitions, you may find that by the end of the challenge, even with the increased repetitions, you may or you may not increase the weight that you're using because you'll be training and increasing your muscle structure. And Sharon did say she went with the alternate moves today because an inner ear issue kept her from bending over. Yeah, that's something to consider. And then we have to think about what we're doing next month. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to do a challenge every month, but I'm liking that we're all exercising together. So, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering, We're not seeing a lot of our normal persons on the live stream. Texas was hit pretty hardcore by Beryl, and so a lot of people are on restricted or out of power, or really have to be very careful. So yeah. And 22QCat says she laughed when she saw we have a rest day tomorrow already. But okay. Yeah, well, we do that because now when we're doing something where we've added the weights, you have to account for a thing that happens when you begin strength training called micro tearing. And that is a part of your muscle, it's part of the muscle cycle. And when you exercise, especially if it was a challenge for you, what I recommend that on your rest day, don't go crazy, but I recommend continuing on with other fitness routines. Make sure that you get some minimum steps in, or even do some squats. Go back and do like those, 30 squats. Yeah, just that little maintenance sort of movement that keeps you going, but is taking the focus off of the muscle build that you're doing from your arms. Little bits. 7,500 to 10,000 steps is a good day. That's a phenomenal day. And that's what you do on your days when you're not doing your strength training. Move it around and keep it going. When I say a rest day, they don't mean like sit in your chair and drink coffee all day. But what they do mean is don't overdo it and don't work out heavy duty strength training all day, every day. It's too much. So, and I will say the other thing I really enjoy about these challenges is that we have ways to modify and work, and we are starting small and working our way up. A lot of the training that comes from some of the people who haven't been on the kind of fitness journey some of us are on, with the mobility limitations, or their fitness journey was different. I've got to say, I felt that a lot of the challenges were too hard. I think that starting off like day one, do 10 burpees is not something that's achievable for a majority of people. And Attila's saying the line he hears a lot is that you don't get stronger when you work out, you get stronger when you rest. And that is 100% true. That's what I'm saying. You got to make sure that you're breaking down, you give yourself time with your strength training. Yeah. And Rick Wynn is chiming right in. You tear down your muscles when you train, and when you rest, you rebuild them better. One of the things, too, that I had learned at school, and Attila's starting to hear it in a lot of the circles that he watches, we talk about zone 2 training. And so, again, that keeps it from like, there's a lot of culture circled around like going all out on your workouts, super high intensity, all the time. And it's the benefits of doing that, giving it your all the time is not always to the best benefit of your body. And there's actually a large benefit that comes from doing a consistency, a medium consistency, versus all out push and then exhausted. So anyways, that's it. I'm off my soapbox now. I'll stop. So, but just know I love seeing us all working together, and I think that that's like a really nice fostering of community. 22QCat says she still does some squats randomly, and she treadmills nearly 1.5 to 2 hours a day. Oh, that is way good enough. That is, I would say you actually probably don't even have to do that much on the treadmill. That's a lot of treadmill. And Sharon says the treadmill is great. It uses so many muscles for walking. Cardio is as important as building muscle. Yes. See, I said I was off my soapbox, but there it is, another button push. Nothing makes me angrier than fitness professionals who tell you that cardio is useless. Cardio is not useless. cardio is not a weight loss tool or a muscle building tool. However, you will build some muscle from some cardio over time. But cardio is exactly what it is. It helps you with your cardiac system. Uh, it's going to help you struggle less with breathing, so you'll be able to intake and breathe more. It helps you with your the blood circulation in your body. The thing is that again, it's that whole pendulum. Sometime for a long time, especially like in the 80s, went absolutely hog wild about cardio, and people were way overdoing it. And then, of course, that has repercussions. You know, when they say you need to moderate, and I know we talk a lot about, in terms of food, about moderate versus abstinence. But in exercise, moderate is really important. You must moderate. Yeah. Okay, so now I'll really stop. But cardio definitely has its place. And let's see, what else should we do? What else should we talk about? Board games, yeah, I got a cute game, by the way, that I should share with you. But I'm also don't want to get up and go all the way across the room and pull it off the shelf. It's ridiculous, though. It's called Taco Cat, spelled backwards. That's it. But then it's a silly, ridiculous card one-up game where you are a cat who's also a taco. Like, it's a dumb theme, but it's actually such a fun game. It's so ridiculous and serious and fun. And also, Sharon says this low impact on your joint. She's old and needs that. Correct. Yeah. Actually, we talked about that yesterday when everybody was like super worn out. Platform, the paper and pencil platform. It's a board game on your regular table. It's a box. See, I'm going to keep talking, but now you've motivated me to go get it. So, yeah, here we are. I'm going to go get it. So you can see, it's a box. Taco Cat spelled backwards. And let me see if I can get the text closer to you. It's not that readable. Yeah, a little board game with a cat who is also a taco. So, and it reminds you that it is not a spelling game on the back. So, yep, and made for 2 players. So, yeah, it's cute. Ooh, 2 players. I'm going to take this with me to Gen Con. Barely Begun says next month he'd like a leg challenge that's nice on the knees, maybe a walking challenge. Let me think on that. I think that's a nice idea, though. I love the idea of a walking challenge, but I don't know about. I was almost thinking, too, the other thing that would be nice, since we did legs and then we do arms, what if we found a challenge, too, that worked our core, which helps with our strength here? I know, but yeah, I like the idea of knee-friendly, but I also want to remind people that when we did the squat challenge, that we can modify squats to be more knee-friendly, and there are alternative exercises that we could have done in place of the squats. So yeah, I think there's lots of opportunity to us to find some really good stuff, and Sharon has been phenomenal about it. I'm trying to open it so that we can look. So, like, the box is part of the game. I don't know that you'll be able to see it. And so, like, these little areas are for playing part of the game. And Sean says maybe a plank challenge. And I'll tell you that while I don't object to a plank challenge, I think that planks are really hard for a lot of people. And I don't mean in a way that, I mean that a lot of groups and YouTubes have done the plank challenges, and it cut out a large swath of mobility limited people. So I do want us to, let me take a look, because I do have some modifications, but I'm not sure I have enough where we could do an entire challenge out of it. But I think So we've got a lot of cool stuff. And Tutu Cute Cat says she likes that we do these challenges as a group. It keeps her accountable. If she's doing it on her own, it would be the end before it began. Yes. So, you guys, these cards, look at this. Star Rats. It's a 6 score. A penalty card. Too Hot to Hoot. It's ridiculous, I tell you. A trade card. A nut for a jar of tuna, and it's got a dolphin and a squirrel making a trade. Ridiculous. Too hot to hoot. What else we got in here? A lady walking a pig for an 11-point card. Ma has a ham. I can see that we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have a lot of fun with this ridiculous game. All right, so guys, I think that I have done my due diligence here and had like a lot of chat here. I think we have a lot of ideas. After the live stream ends, once it posts, comment on there what kind of ideas you have to go with bratwurst. That's not cottage cheese chocolate chip cookies, because we weren't putting bratwurst in that anyways. But yeah, so. But let me see, things you want to see us make with bratwurst or hamburgers or hot dogs. Remember, I have a stuffed waffle maker. We have, basically, we have everything. You name it, we can do it. So I'm open to ideas. Less open to cottage cheese chocolate chip cookies. But, I'll try anything. Because what's the worst thing that happens? We go like, yeah, that was a mistake. And we all have a good laugh about it. So, and on that note, I am going to finish off my coffee and get ready to bed. Oh, Rickman says, make some of Jason's chaffles for my brats. Yeah, that's probably going to happen for sure. Actually, I might make, I can't remember. There was a cheesy one that I really liked. And I have to go look up the YouTube. But there was one that I really liked that was like cheese and onion. I can't remember what all was in it without going and looking up the recipe because it's been a while. What if I just chopped up the bratwurst into there? I'm going to have to look it up and make that this week. All right. I will see you guys all later. You have a great evening, and thanks for joining me on this Monday night. Bye-bye.